The interstellar expedition of the Voyager spacecraft has shed light on previously unsolved questions concerning the universe beyond our solar system. However, the findings of the Voyager probes in the furthest reaches of space may have raised more questions than answers. The Voyager spacecrafts have discovered something that is both mysterious and terrifying. What if we're not alone in the cosmos after all? What's up there waiting for a chance? There are so many mysteries in the cosmos, unsolved puzzles that we have yet to solve. This is the sort of thing that space travelers and explorers see. There are mysteries to be found in space since it's a place where some of the world's largest mysteries are hidden. As soon as we send humans into space, they return with a wealth of data that academics and scientists may use. However, we tend to overlook the importance of the machines in all of the trips because we focus so much on human achievements. Years ago, 2 extraordinary spacecraft were launched into orbit, and even now, their results are astounding. The fact that these spacecraft were able to explore something so terrible in the area above us, however, does not entirely bode well for humankind. In August 1977, NASA took a major step forward in the advancement of space exploration. This movement was being led by NASA because they thought space exploration needed to be given more priority. NASA had the idea that they needed to expand on this 8 years after Neil Armstrong made that stride on the moon's surface. NASA thought they were doing the right thing when they launched the Voyagers into orbit. To assist us in getting a taste of what is out there in space, Voyagers 1 and 2 were launched into orbit. The Voyagers provided an excellent pathway to the exploration and study of our neighboring planets, which were just waiting to be found and discovered. Moving forward to the present, the Voyagers have done a remarkable job thus far, and even after 45 years, they are still going strong. With distinct projected trajectories, both spacecraft share the same build. Voyager 1 was focused on getting us pictures of Saturn's rings and its biggest moon Titan, and Voyager 2 was launched with an even bigger assignment. It was launched into space to observe the planets that are close to us and the environment of the Earth. The Voyager mission's irony lies in the fact that it was launched into orbit for a roughly 5-year duration. This year marks the 45th anniversary of this, and there is no hint that it will come to an end. The researchers that worked on the Voyager should be commended for their achievement. Making a machine that outlives its anticipated useful life is not an easy feat. This is unlike your PlayStation, which you can maintain its functionality by keeping clean. Let's discuss the accomplishments the Voyagers have accomplished so far with their primary 2 missions, for which they were designed, before we get to the horrific part of what they have encountered. The Voyager spacecraft traveled through the solar system on the mission for which they were designed, using remote control reprogramming to give them more control since they are outfitted with more advanced technology than usual. Where the 4-planet mission was known to be feasible, it was determined that it would be too expensive to construct a spaceship that could travel a great distance and carry the required instruments. Funding was provided for the Voyagers to do extensive research on the planets of Jupiter and Saturn. Before it was decided that the 2 of them would pass past Jupiter and Saturn and their respective moons, nearly 10,000 different paths had been studied. Voyager 1's initial route was intended to take it quite near to Titan as it passed behind Saturn's rings. As a result, the spacecraft's route deviated northward from the ecliptic plane. It was planned for Voyager 2 to pass Saturn at a location that would direct it toward Uranus. Voyager 2's encounter with Uranus in 1986 allowed it to send back precise images of the planet as well as information about its moon's magnetic field and black rings. Voyager 1 continued to go outward and advance with its study of interplanetary space while it was engaged in this activity. The Voyager 1's equipment may be the first on the scene to be able to detect the border between the magnetic field of the Sun and the region between the stars known as interstellar space. From here, let's take a look at the interstellar mission. This interstellar mission extends the Voyager mission, which was completed in 1989 when it came within a few hundred miles of Neptune. While Voyager 1 sailed close to Jupiter and Saturn, Voyager 2 flew close to Neptune and Uranus. Prior to recent developments, every spacecraft in history had carried out all of its measurements within our heliosphere, the magnetic bubble that our Sun has inflated. Voyager 1 changed all that on August 25, 2012. It was the first human-made object to enter and measure interstellar space when it crossed the heliosphere's border. With Voyager 1 already 8 years into its interstellar mission, a closer listen to its data is revealing new details about what the frontier is like. We can compare Voyager 1 to a life raft dropped from the deck of a ship navigating interstellar waters, and we can see that it's determined to map the currents. For the time being, the only turbulent waters we're experiencing are those caused by the wake of our heliosphere. This isn't to say that it won't pick up on signs from deeper in the universe. Our heliosphere will eventually disappear entirely from its readings. The interstellar medium is rife with tumultuous waves just like the ocean. The greatest are caused by the revolution of our galaxy, which causes undulations tens of light years across when space rubs up against itself. Even if the waves aren't as large, the distance between the crests of supernova bursts is enormous. It is most common for our sun to produce the smallest ripples as shockwaves from solar eruptions travel through space and permeate our heliosphere's outer layer. The goal of Voyager's interstellar mission is to take NASA's exploration program beyond the solar system's outer planets and into space itself. This is because if efforts are made to discover it, the potential that lies beyond is enormous, and its significance cannot be adequately expressed. This mission will keep characterizing the environment of the outer solar system and look for the heliopause boundary, the furthest limits of the sun's magnetic field and the solar wind's outward movement. Accurate measurements will be possible due to the solar wind's penetration of the heliopause boundary between it and the interstellar medium. The Voyager 1 is traveling 35 degrees north of the ecliptic plane in the approximate direction of the solar apex as it leaves our solar system at a pace of 3.6 AU per year. The direction of the sun's velocity to its neighborhood stars is where the sun's peak is located. Voyager 2, on the other hand, is also leaving the solar system, doing so at a rate of around 3.3 AU per year. Finally, the crucial section of today, the terrifying discovery that we've been talking about for a while. It's the connection between Voyager 2 and aliens. Is it true, and if so, to what extent? Aliens and the second Voyager. To put the distance between Voyager 2 and the Earth into perspective, it takes 13 hours for commands issued from Earth to reach this spacecraft. However, data isn't always conveyed as it should be. It wasn't until the end of last year that it became apparent the explorer may have encountered an anomalous problem. The conspiracy theorists that came running about at this glitch quickly transformed it into a hot rumor. Rumor had claimed that aliens had found the Voyager 2 probe and modified its transmission to interrupt the communication flowing back and forth. This might have just been dismissed as junk, but according to a German specialist, this glitch can only be the result of extraterrestrial intervention. When it came to conjecture about UFOs, the Telegraph in the UK went with the word of a UFO expert rather than verifying it with first-hand knowledge from an expert in the field. This was merely a publicity stunt for views and copy sales. The likelihood that a UFO or aliens were involved in this operation is still far from certain, and the most plausible scenario is that something went wrong with the Voyager's programming. However, the idea of aliens is one that will surely continue for a long time. Why? Because it's more than simply speculating. It's a long-held human need to learn more about the universe. What if aliens are out there? Wouldn't they do more than mess up the settings of a floating machine? Perhaps it's a warning to us to avoid them. Whatever it is, it defies logic and would rather not bother knocking on a door that leads to a brick wall. This is brilliant speculation that should be treated with caution. For us to move forward in this field, we must hope that the Voyager mission continues with full force. The aliens may be sending signals to keep us away because they're afraid of encountering humanity in the future. But for now, it's a good topic for speculation, don't you think? Let us know what you think in the comment section below.